Hello and welcome back. I am Dr. Anshu coming back with today's tutorial. So finally, this is the last editorial of this month, and I have covered almost. I have started this series from January 1, and it's 31 days of initiating this series. So go and check out if you didn't visit. There is a updated series. I will just create a playlist of the January, and then again I will start with the February month. I have started this series with a one hope that we can learn together, so that uh, editorials covering the editorials, we have a recap and revision series like this. So must check out there. So let's start with a recap of today's tutorial. News are less, so just covering within 30 minutes. So let's start. So the covering with the front page. First one is about the aircraft that collides with a chopper. 67 feared dead. EC asks Kejriwal evidence for poisoning of Yamuna. Moving to the next slide is the science is clear. Crowd disaster are preventable. Third one is about an opportunity to settle Sri Lanka ethnic problems. Fourth one is the measuring the migrant movement. Fifth article is about the 100 stuck in Pragraj traffic snarl over the 30 hours. Basically, it is related to the first of the Pragraj of traffic snarl. Sixth one covering about the Philippines to remove US missile system if China stops the sea aggression. And last one is about the more and better of the educational infrastructure in all district, and picture of the horticulture and agriculture exhibition. So let's start with the editorial with a thought. If you focus on success, you will have stress, but if you pursue excellence, success will be guaranteed. So just working on the focus on your success is not creating only a stress, but just focusing on excellence, create a success that will be guaranteed. Just a movie from the 3 Idiots. So कामयाबी के पीछे मत भागो, कामयाबी झक मार के पीछे बनी है, उसके काबिल बनो तुम तो. It's just like that. So just moving to the front, US aircraft collided with chopper, 67 feared dead. There is a 64 a total 60 passengers and 4 crew members were on board on the Bombardier CR701 jet, and its 122-meter radio data shows the jet suffered from the rapid loss of altitude from the 122-meter above the Potomac River. So 3 soldiers were aboard Army's UH and U-60 Black Hawk helicopter with a call sign of Pat 25. So it's a crash course. Wednesday night's collision is possibly a deadliest US Airlines crash since November 2001, when an American airline flight crashed after takeoff in New York, killing 260 people aboard. And it's a very sad news for every country. Just a condolence to every person that there are bodies found there. So the divers pulled bodies from the icy port of Washington, Potomac River. Just locate, maybe a geography questions can be asked about the Potomac River. Where it is. The US military helicopter collided with a mid-air passenger and plane carrying 64 people. So air down broke over a crash site just 5 kilometers from the White House. So the wreckage and both aircraft protruded from the water, and emergency vessels and diving teams scoured the area. So basically, we are the switching from the rescue operations to recovery operations. Washington Fire Chief is John. Here it is already mentioned. Maybe this half of the page is not visible here, so I am mentioning here. So there is a 300 first responders were involved in operations with the recovery of team discovering debris. Just excuse me. हम न्यूज़ दे
मम्मी गई है शायद.
अरे यार मेरा ऑन है. Just sorry for the inconvenience. So let's start with the recovery of team discovering a debris mile down a river, and there were no details on the cause of crash, with the transport officials say stand flight patterns. So it was about airline subsidiary was approaching airport around 9 p.m. and Wichita, Kansas when the collision happened. President Donald Trump posted a critical take on social media. Why didn't helicopter go up or downtown? So it's a tragic event and not expected in from the US aircraft to happen like this. So just remember the news is just UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter with the call sign PAT 25. How meters? It's 122 meters. Radio data shows above a Potomac River. 122 meter Potomac River. 64 member, including 60 members and 4 crew members. Were in this. Here the already the map is located here. It's a Potomac River, average depth and Reagan National Airport. So moving to the next. It's about the there are two articles related to the Mahakumbh Mela. The first here writer from the University of Oklahoma, US. So finally she is giving her opinions regarding the Mahakumbh, how the crowd disasters are preventable through the scientific arguments. So basically, the Mahakumbh was such a 30 people were killed in a deadly crowd crush that occurred in Mahakumbh. So the tragedies such as one of this become far too common across the world at a religious pilgrimage, supporting events and even the music concert. As someone who studies the crowd disaster, what makes even more terrible is that they are almost entirely preventable. Crowd crushes are dangerous, deadly, and immensely scary. They are scientifically well understood, easy to predict, and inexpensive to prevent. So the modern societies, while the writer joined the people of India in mourning the shocking and senseless loss of life, it is her hope that government and events organizers everywhere use this tragedy as an opportunity to commit to making the changes necessary to keep crowds safe. So the writer is saying that in per square kilometer there should be a 5-person in that area. 5-person, the writer is already written there, that crowd density is a 5-person per square meter. So there is a risk of crowd, injuries. Okay, but if we turn to the 7-person per square kilometer, so the likelihood of death injuries is strongly influenced by the physical space around the crowd. So basis on the area density, through a scientific method, we can know that how the crowd disaster can be preventable. So a similar disaster, and writer is giving many examples that disaster that taking place because of crowd. Like the first is here about the Texas music concert, Houston in Texas in US in October. There's a live music concert in November 2021. There is also a cases about South Korea where 159 people killed in Halloween festival. And in April 2023, nearly 90 people were killed in Sana, Yemen charity distribution event. And December 2024, 35 people were killed in religious festival at Nigeria. So these all happened due to just a crowd that happened due to the music concert, due to any charity events, due to any religious events. So there should be a planner and a government to note. So what are these? Why to do injuries and death keep happening after so many high profile disaster? And if you believe many of news stories and commentary often around such tragedies, these crushes falls of crowds that are out of control. So we are too quick to blame the victims in these scenarios and too eager to use the conventional wisdom, stereotypes and rules of thumb as a substitute for actual science. Though the crush requires keeping crowd densities at a safe level, the only entities which can do effectively in the local government is organizer and promoter who plan and oversees these large events. Once a crowd reaches dangerous density, moreover where nobody, the crowd can meaningfully influence what's happening around them. In fact, at that point, crowd members themselves may not even be able to take full breath. So the event planner and local government can take relatively easy step in nearly eliminated the risk of crowd crush. So they can also segment of planners to do this each year, New Year event at the Times Square in New York. On the organizer and economic factor. The problem is that currently in most nations, nothing requires promoter, planners, or local government to do any of this. Worse, event organizers keeping themselves at a vested interest, keeping such law off the books, and instead they have a strong economic incentive to pack tickets, food, merchandise sale. So the tragedy at a Mahakumbh, however, should inspire the governments to everywhere reconsider their hands-off approach to crowd crush and pass the sensible laws and regulations requiring event planners, promoter, and venues to take individual at large event. To eliminate the risk that crowd members will injured, trampled, or squeezed to death, feet allowing everyone to have a good time, the cost of waiting to make such things will continue to be measured in human lives. So the moving to the most important article, the events that is occurring here. So moving to the next article is an opportunity to settle the Sri Lanka's ethnic problem. So India's move to the name of Jaffna Culture Center, Tamil Nadu poet philosopher Thiruvar, a symbolic gesture by Delhi to reinforce the unbreakable bond with Sri Lanka. So that when a section of Sri Lankan Tamils were agitated originally over the omission, India's authorities were swift in their course of Thiruvaram Culture Center. A recent one need the emphasis the significance of bilateral ties between the two South Asian neighbors, which was shared the history of culture. So in last 40 odd years, the nature and political relations were undergone significant changes ever. Since in 1983, the Tamil pogrom in Sri Lanka drew India to play the role of mediator initially, an active player in later. It was such a complex relationship that led to the signing of Indo-Sri Lanka Accord of 1987 and the Constituent 13th Amendment Act 13A to the Sri Lanka Provincial Council and granting limited Preramuna JVP, the party to which the Sri Lanka President Anura Kumar Desai belonged to, which party is Janta Vimukti Premuna. So the Liberation Tiger of Tamil Elam, LTE, which was another critic, then the most important Tamil force was not happy with settlement formula. So the LTE was for division of Sri Lanka and creation of a Tamil Elam encompassing the Tamil majority northern and eastern provinces, an idea that India can never agree with. So the Mr. Disenki in Colombo in early October 2024 to invite him formally to visit India, and he too referred this much to use phrase. So, but the absence of explicit reference to the amendment in Prime Minister Narendra Modi, public remarked during the Mr. Dishanke state visit to New Delhi in December 2024 has raised the question of whether India has begun the implementation of 13A. Even though too early, the fully implementing the constitution, the Sri Lanka and conducting the provincial council. So the Mr. Jaishankar in his capacity to foreign secretary in February 2017 to now defect the merger issues. People and it. The India's as after all constitutional concept contemporary period is an outcome of Piliampist, the whole goods for accord and 13A2. So the proposal of different level of two countries during the 1983-87, also in Sri Lanka's 1948, the two republic constitution of 1972 and 1952 were drafted. Based on the British, the ruling coalition would well to keep in the mind that people of Sri Lanka are known for their democratic spirit and effective for transition of power, mostly through the ballot box, and deserve a deal that is tuned to their character. So the NP, which command the 2/3 of majority in parliament with extremely popular president, has golden opportunity now to which an offsuit combination of economic and political factors. So the moving to the next article is measuring the migrant movement. Just let me just showing the data of the measuring migrant movement that occurs within the states. Basically here the chart shows that mostly the migrants were Tracking the migration crucial aspect of public policy. 45 crore people initially internally migrated between 2000 and 2011 according to 2000 census. So the delaying key data on migration trends between 11 and 21 alternative method for assessing the internal migration become necessary. So the unreserved train data ticket shows that, like chart 1, 2, 3. Here the 1, 2 and 3 chart shows that the states to Delhi, Maharashtra and West Bengal states known for their relatively strong economies and job opportunities. In 2023, and unreserved tickets are typically the most affordable option. The ESC PM paper argues that they serve as a useful proxy for blue collar migration. Collar migration. So the share one of passenger arriving at various train station in Delhi 2023 with unreserved based on departure station. So here the 35.2% of the passengers arriving in Delhi came from Uttar Pradesh. Bihar 70.5% of passengers arriving in Delhi came from Bihar. Rajasthan 11.9%. MP 7.3%. 7.3%. Punjab it's 6.9% and Haryana 6.5%. So the Tamil Nadu, the northern state Tamil Nadu share a very less percentage, 0.4%. So it shows that the southern states are very developed in their economies and their infrastructure is well developed. They don't have to migrate in another state for in the search of employment, in the search of better opportunities. So the chart 2 shows the share of passenger arriving at a train station in Maharashtra 2023. First data is the train station in Delhi. Second one is the Maharashtra with unreserved ticket based on the departure station. Like chart 1, Maharashtra it's a 51.6% passengers travel within the state. Gujarat it's a 12.3% of passenger arrived from Gujarat. Bihar it's 7.4%. UP it's 7.2% and Karnataka 5.4%. Here again Tamil Nadu shows a 0.4%. So the regression analysis in paper reveals a strong correlation between unreserved train and number of migrants recorded of census 2011. So the chart 3 here shows a share of passenger arriving at various train stations in West Bengal 2023 with unreserved tickets based on their departure station. The data include departure and destinations. West Bengal is covering 63.8% of passenger travel within the station. Bihar is 12.8%. Jharkhand 7%. And the Odisha shows 4.3%. Tamil Nadu here 1.1%. So three data about the first in Delhi, Maharashtra and last one is West Bengal. So a map here shows the drastic level of average ratio saving accounts deposit from 1718 to 2023. Chart 5 here shows the wireless subscriber and wired subscriber both in million left axis along the percent total of Delhi telecom circle. Chart 6 shows the display of wireless subscriber and wireless subscriber both in million left axis along with the wireless subscriber, and chart 7 shows the wireless subscriber and wireless subscriber both in million of Eastern UP telecom circle, and chart 8 shows the wireless subscriber of Bihar telecom circle, Eastern UP second last. So here are the whole analysis that captures a significant portion of migrant movement, and it may still underestimate the actual number for several reasons. So for instance, not all migrants use roaming connection and many do not have any mobile connection at all. So next, moving to the next article, is related to the Mahakumbh of the 100 stuck in Prayagraj traffic snarl for over 30 hours. So here the there was 100 of people stuck in Prayagraj while attempting to leave Mahakumbh. So there was a basically there was a consideration that the parking area is very 3 to 4 kilometer far away from the that reaching areas, and they have to walk roaming, and it at least there are many people that tell about their stories, like they have to cover at least they if they just after attending all the rituals and bath, taking a dip in the Mahakumbh, they if they are arriving they are if they are lifting the ghat for at the 12 p.m, they reach to the parking area at till the 4 p.m. So it's about almost taking 3 to 4 hours to just cover that distance from the parking area to travel to the bus and autos. So the Mahakumbh Mela and Savai Temple parking trying to reach Kanpur near the Eastern Highway. So here the stuck buses, as far as we can see, have not be able to reach the highway. So the uh, it's a wearing thin now. The buses are stuck here. Marda 46, a Mumbai-based businessman, slow progresses. We left Prayagraj yesterday at 4 p.m. and trying to reach highway to reach the Delhi Kotari villages in Prayagraj. So the people can enter in after that, and we did a snan on 29th morning, left from there around 2:30 p.m. But there is a parking lot and few kilometers to reach to cover though 4 to 5 kilometers walk till 4 p.m. So there are almost some stories about some persons that reaching there. The highly inaccessible. The people who went ahead on motorcycles coming back told that the traffic jams and local police were tweeted about the official person. We haven't found any single official person till now. Every time the DIG Prayagraj Ajay Pal told that traffic a choke block across highways. So we attend several complaints of people getting stuck places for hours with the help of reach them and to turn out the couple of hours. So the moving to the next one, about the Philippines to remove the US missile system if China stop a sea aggression. So China demanded the removal of missile system, claiming inside of geopolitical confrontations and arm race missile system, and was repositioned close to Manila to enhance the military readiness, and Philippines rising the tension with China. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos offered on Friday to remove the US missile system from Philippines if China halts the aggressive and coercive behavior disputed with China. So the US Army installed the Typhoon mid-range missile system in northern Philippines in April last year to support the long-time treaty allies described in training for joint combat readiness. So the China has repeatedly demanded the Philippines to remove the missile system, saying insulate geopolitical confirmations and arm race. So here they understand Chinese position because of Philippines does not comment on China missile system, which are 1,000 times more than powerful. So here the deal of how to stop claiming territory, stop harassing our fishermen, and let's have a living, stop ramming to boats, coercive behavior, and will return by Typhoon missile. US Army Mobile Typhoon missile system. Typhoon missile system consists of 16 standard missile and Tomahawk attack missile. So the moving to the next article, and the last one is the 17th Grand Anniversary Mela and the Horticulture Agriculture Exhibition taking place in Hyderabad, Necklace Road. Just remember for just a general information, general awareness. So the more and better. So basically here's the it's about an important article that why the laws are different for the PGs and UG medical entrance. The domicile that is taking in the state for the UGs but not for PG. So that they are challenging for the Supreme Court. It's so guaranteed the Supreme Court of India's ruling that there can be a reservation based on the residence in admission to PG medical courses consistent with the constitutional mandate of equality before law. So the code has reminded everyone that there is only one domicile for the Indians and the country might be open to resident to all states. So this is aligned with the series verdicts on the question of constitutional preferences, the choosing the candidate who had passed on institution, and seem constitutionally permissible that admission to the UG medical courses cause the basic medical needs of reason can be a same background. So the doctor emerging, however, the qualifications broke so compromise with the merits, prevailing the view that PG courses should not be and open to any residential preferences that need to attract best talent is higher. So the many states do fill up the PG seats in government medical colleges and seats available to them in private colleges with the candidates drawn their own state. Candidate from other state to enter the PG medical courses in the state only through the national quota. So it has own justification. PG student forms the backbone of medical services, government hospital. In addition to such students, additional incentive joining government services, thereby acquiring eligibility to apply for a PG courses as a service candidate. So here almost in every district, these would like to accommodate more candidate from the state to keep their medical services going in eye on a future of manpower needs. So it is expected that the aggregate states may seek a review of this judgment, and it is likely to verdict will result that restrict the role of states in a medical admissions between PG and UG courses and comes to the prioritizing the local itself in questioning continuing tendency. So the solution lies in creating educational infrastructure of a near uniform quality in every district. So here ending with the last slide, just have a summary. So the first news covering the US aircraft collided with a chopper, 67 fear dead. EC asked for Kejriwal evidence for poisoning of Yamuna. Second one was the editorial, the science is clear, crowd disaster are preventable. Third one is opportunity to settle Sri Lanka's ethnic problems. Fourth one is the comparison of the measuring migrant movements. Fifth one is the 100 stuck in Prayagraj traffic snarl for over 30 hours. Seventh one is covering blushing the blooms and the more and better India needs a good education. So that's for today. Almost covered every important slides. I have thinking that I should consider specifically. I categorize in the different sections, like which one is art and culture, which comes to the GS1 paper. So from the next month I will start with that initiative. So hope you like it. Finally my January series is going to end. Just starting with that for the more confidence, for better fluency, and day by day I'm working on it. So that's for today. Just stay connected and just watch the previous tutorial series if you haven't watched it. So take care, study hard, and good night.